All right. All right, Eric, what's up, man?
What's going
Steve,
on? What's going on?
tell me a little bit about what you got going on. I know you just joined LIA.
Yeah. I joined the clan.
Yeah. I love it. So today I want to go over pricing with you. We talked a little bit about it, but I want to go over more pricing. We're going to do some basic pricing today. And
Okay.
however you want to iterate afterwards, it's totally up to you. Everybody has their own little plans, details, whatever. The same concept applies. That's really all it comes down to. So I know you worked on picking some markets and all that jazz. So what do we have as far as markets go?
So I have a few markets with I have um Monroe County, Tennessee.
Okay.
I have DeKalb County,
Oh
Tennessee.
man. Tennessee. Okay.
Got Tennessee. And then I have Swanee County, Florida.
I did some
I
deals
had,
with
to throw,
Swanee.
I had to throw. I know you don't like Florida, but I have to represent for the home team, so I had to throw Florida in there.
I made 200 grand in Florida like last year. So I mean, I'm not gonna say no to it, but like Florida's a pain in my ass. I don't know. You know what it is? It's like there's so much scrubbing, so many nuances, and so many shit deals, but you can still pull a good deal out here and there, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, in Swanee, yeah, we made like 200K last year, so I'm not gonna complain. But yeah. All right, so which one do you want to start with first? Let's just look at price per acre and type of properties and all that
Okay.
stuff.
Let's start with Monroe County. I got a zip code too if you want it.
Yeah, let's do zips. Zips
Okay.
are better because you can get tighter.
Perfect. Okay.
So now we're not going to go through like sell-through rates and all that stuff today. You already did that.
Yeah, I already did
So
that.
let's just look at the type of property, the assets, and what's selling in the market, how fast they're moving,
Okay.
and all that stuff. And then that's going to help us really decide, like, all right, we like this market or not.
Okay.
So, guy, what's your zip?
Give me let's do 37874.
37874. Okay. All right. So we go here, lots lands. We already got that selected. We're gonna go. So let's start looking like what I'll try to do is look at like acreage bands first, like 5 to 10s, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
And then before I pull my data, I'm just gonna go back 12 months. I want to see, or you could even look 6 months. I just want to see what is happening in this market recently because markets change kind of quickly sometimes.
Okay.
So I want to look at this first and say, okay, what is going on here? I could already see one thing, like price disparities. So we got this one over here that sold for $27,000 an acre. That sold for $7K an acre. This sold for $14K an acre. That sold for $20. So already I can tell you right now, from a standpoint of like you're just trying to figure this out, this is going to be a tougher market to price, right? We got this little city right here, all that stuff. We got over here, you got water. Usually anytime you have any kind of water or anything like that, any land over here is going to sell for more because you're close to the water. So those are things to look for. Highway properties, like anything local to highways, if this is a major thoroughfare to get to like major towns,
okay,
a lot of times that would sell for more. This one right here, I can already say is actually not. It's kind of weird. This one's actually the least expensive property. So that's an oddity right there. So like already I'd be like, okay, this market would be a little tough to price. But let's just look real quick. So I want to look at like velocity of the market. How fast are these deals actually selling? So I just kind of skip over everything and I want to look at this. And I want to look when it was listed, when it went pending, and when it sold. So you see that? 30 days, full cycle. That's amazing.
That's why I picked it with Land Insights.
Yep. That right there is what you want. You want that 30 days and that velocity. That literally just sold 2 days ago. So right then and there, you know the market's still hot, right? Now, let's look at the asset type. So it looks like we got 195K, 7 acres. It's got a little barn on it, something like that. Looks like it's in maybe some kind of rural subdivision or something like that. You could check that out. You could usually read.
Would that be a comp for us being that there's a barn on it?
So yeah, you could. The barn doesn't really add much value as much as like if it was a brand new barn. Like if you had a brand new like concrete pad, 100 by 80 barn, something like that with septic and all that jazz.
Okay.
That's like equivalent to a house. It's like a barn dominium or whatever the hell they call them. So like that'd be different. But this is more just like this was built. It's an old structure to store a car and whatever. It's not really going to affect the value that much, to be honest. It's probably not even usable at this, or maybe it is. I don't know. I can't tell the condition, but already this looks like, really nice property. Let's check this guy. Almost the same size, but if you see, it's closer to the highway and like diminished value. Now I do see graveyards right here.
Yeah.
That crushes values.
That's why it's at 50, probably, huh?
Probably. Yeah. So we'll read the description, but more than likely there's probably some kind of like graveyard or some jazz going on here. Commercial or a beautiful location for home, blah, 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 possible water easement, fence, great mini farm, presently rented for cattle, call for tour. Terrible listing. I'll give them that. Like there's no description. There's nothing that mentions anything about the graveyard. I instantly look at that and be like, yeah, there's a graveyard. F that. Wow, look how long they've been trying to sell that.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. All right, so this is a negative. Well, this is a really bad property. Something was majorly wrong with this. Since 2018, they were trying to sell this thing.
So with me learning this, we wouldn't count that against the county because this is a bad listing and it's a bad property.
Exactly. I would remove that one. Yep. So that's like why, like, this is why I don't like using, like, people are always like, oh, I just use the median, it's easier. Well, that doesn't help you because now if you use the median, that you're using that property could affect your value, right?
Yep.
So like you don't want to necessarily do that because now that property is going to screw with everything, and then it kind of could drive all your numbers down. And guess what? Now you underprice the entire market, and then nobody calls you. So doesn't it take like worth it to take a little time and look at all the comps and see what's going on? So like I don't know if that's going to be the lowest number, so it might just get shaved off regardless. You don't know. Mm-hmm. Like if you're taking the bottom and top for 10% and only using the middle 80% to price your market, that one might get shaved off, and the other one might get shaved off. But also, there's something to say there, like, if you see that, maybe look at other properties that are listed or around that to kind of like understand why is that area so shitty, because you might pick up a piece of land just like that and then be screwed for 5-6 years trying to sell it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you got this one listed for sale. Price change, price change, price change, price change, listing removed, price change, price change. Took a long time to sell too. And that's
bad picture,
bad marketing, all that stuff. But this probably, it still speaks for the market because a picture does help sell the property, but at the same time, like this has water view and a lake view, right? But also just to mention,
are those power lines?
Yeah, that could just be regular. That's your regular lines, like regular. They're not transmission lines. Those are just regular electric lines for your house.
Okay.
That's actually a benefit than it is a negative. But I will say this. So you're looking at this, just because you don't see pictures now doesn't mean there wasn't pictures before. So that's another thing. Like if you look at something that's already sold, a lot of times the pictures come off. So when you go on to here you go. So the pictures do exist. There they are. And they're descriptive. They actually show what's going on. It looks like you got water, you got everything.
Yeah.
You got electric. So it's not that it was a bad listing necessarily. It just might be not in demand. So already that's 2 strikes in this market. You got 1 good one and 2 bad ones so far.
Okay.
In the last 6 months. So that's a red flag. So let's see. We got listed for sale, pending sale, listed for sale, sold. Then it listed for sale again. Price change, price change, price change. They basically broke even on this one. By the time you pay your agents, you broke even. So I'd say this was not a great deal either. And it's got electric, water, well. See, it's got well right there. All that stuff. So you got tons of improvements, and it still took forever to sell and didn't even sell for that much. So I think we scrapped this market.
Okay, so you'll scrap that one?
I think so. You only have one really good comp that actually sold. Okay. So like if anything, I would say like, what's going on right here? Maybe I'll just pull this little section right here. and just mail that little section, add it to another list, you know?
Okay.
Because sometimes there's not demand in a whole market, but there are demands in pockets of the market, you know? So I might scrap this market. And that was only, well, that's only the 5 to 10 acre range. So we could look at other acreage sizes and stuff.
If you want to, the one that I picked out of this one was 20 to 40.
20 to 40. Okay. Yeah, so we could look at that. But that was just the one. So this is good. See, this sold.
And see, that's what I have to learn. And that's what I'm a little confused about. When I do pick the markets, how would I know to not go to 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40? You know what I mean? So I guess this is how I would be able to, I have to go to each acre band.
Yeah, you kind of have to look at each acre band. It takes a little bit of time, but at the end of the day, if you do this and you figure it out and like you teach somebody how to do it, there's no reason they can't do this. Look at this one, 210. Listed for 682, it's sold for half, pretty much. What? That's crazy. Not a ton. I mean, there's a couple good properties here, but nothing like that's standing out to me. It's off market. Yeah. All right. What's your other one? Let's not waste too much time. That one, I'd say, like, hold on for that. Yeah.
37095, DeKalb County.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Home type. Let's go 6 months. Let's go lot size. 5 to 10s. All right, so we got 14, 13, 13, 12. All right, good. Everything's selling for pretty much the same amount. Anything that's going to sell up here is going to sell for more because you're still on that water over there. But let's see how fast these things are selling. This is a little subdivision right here. Somebody bought a big chunk of land, chopped it up. It's kind of what we do. So that is one thing that you're going to get some, when you see that actually could skew a little bit of your numbers when you see a bunch of like properties recently sold because somebody did a sub.
Okay.
You don't want to count. Sometimes they sell for more because it's a new subdivision, has better whatever. So 1.6 to 5.16, about 5 months ago, full cycle. It went pending. Once they got the price right, it went pending in a month. So they price changed it, got it to 69K, which is market value. And then boom, went pending in in a month. So that's not bad. Let's check this guy. 139 pending sale. It went contingent. Took a while to go contingent, about 6 months.
What does that mean when it does that for land?
Contingent, like somebody's going to buy it.
Oh, okay. So it's same thing for house.
Yeah, so I always look at how long it takes from listed to pending, or pending contingent, same thing. I always look how long it takes to go from listed to pending. And then I don't really care necessarily about how long it goes from pending to sold, because that doesn't really affect you necessarily, because realistically, this could be like they're waiting on funds, they're waiting on something, they're waiting on whatever the case may be, right? But this is the most important, this to this, listing to contingent. So that was pretty, that one took a while, actually. That was like 6 months, something like that. Forget. So that took 6 months, okay? Let's check this one. This went contingent, sold, listed, contingent in 6 days, sold. So pretty good number. So this is, I'd say it's like 80% of the way there. Well, let's look at your last one. What was your last one?
37874.
We did that one already.
I'm sorry. Do Suwannee County. Let's do that. I didn't have a zip code for that one either. I just pulled up.
Suwannee County, Florida. All right, so we're only looking at one acreage band here. Still the same thing. I do remember we sold a Live Oak is where we did 2 deals right over here. Actually, I think ours are like just north over here. They sold pretty good. I gotta say, it wasn't terrible. So we have, let's see, 5 to 10.
It looks like it's homogenous because 75, 24, 70, 78, 105, especially the bottom part where O'Brien is, all those look the same.
Yeah. So look, you got 14, 10, 7, 7, 9, 12, So one thing I will say, let's look at this too. Let's look at the for sales. So just in this 1 acreage range, the 5 to 10s, you have 35 properties. So there's definitely volume happening here, which is good. Just understand that like you could get lost a little bit if things get listed quickly. You know, your property could basically sink down pretty quickly
because there's so much stuff going on with the actives.
Exactly. Yeah, volume kind of screws you a little bit. So let's check. Let's just check 20 to 50s.
So what I did was when I picked the market before I went into the zip, I did 25 between 25 and 250.
Okay. Yeah. So you did. Yeah. Just that's what Sumner does too. 25 to 250. So you know there's activity in the market and all that stuff, and there is demand. Yep. All right. So this was listed, went pending in 4 months, and sold. It's not bad. $6K an acre. Bigger properties usually take a little longer. So 1216, look at when pending right away. A couple days. That's good. That's really good. Not bad. This took like 2 months and around Christmas time too. So anytime around Christmas, anything like that, usually you have a longer delay on things. So I don't mind like a 30-day window where nothing happens. So like this is 2 months, which is pretty damn good for a 355K property. That's actually really good. So I already like this one a lot, actually.
See, look at you.
I know. Look, I have a love-hate relationship with Florida, man. Listed, sold. So it never went pending, but it listed and sold. That's good. Pretty fast. 30 acres. 245. So went price change, contingent right after the price change. 235. It actually sold for 612. So you see when it says this, like listed for sale, and it's like 68K.
Yeah.
The reason why that usually happens is either it was a subdivision or they're just using the same 0 county road, whatever, 132 Live Oak, Florida. So what you should try to look for when you go to list a property, don't use like 0 county road or whatever it is. You want to put like, if it's like 1005 is like the neighborhood property, I would do 0000 county road. So that this way, like when they future assign an address to it, that's what it'll be. It'll differentiate your thing right here. And then I had one agent that I worked with that I think I want to start doing on every property. It's basically like 5 acre, 5 AC, 0 county road. So to say like 10, or this one, for instance, would be 20 AC, 0 county road. So 20 acres, 0 county road, 132. So basically it creates a unique address for this property so that you don't get stuff like this, where somebody's like, oh, what the hell? Why did this thing sell? And then, 6 days later, it was listed again for 68,000. What the hell happened here?
Yeah.
So that's one thing too. When you go to talk to an agent, make sure they're differentiating it and stuff like that. Everybody does like 0 Pinecrest, whatever. So you got 8.4 price change. Damn, contingent at 165. What the heck? That's weird. And then, because they never price change, that's even weirder. Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird one. I mean, the demand is here for this one, and I think this is pretty good. So list for sale. It took a little while to go pending, but it's an easement type property. So any type of property that's like this.
It's a flag shape, right?
This is, like a flag shape, flagpole, whatever the case may be. But a lot of times, like these are like easement type properties. So like you basically have to cross another property to get to your property. So instead of having road frontage, these will always take longer. There's a caveat though. You could typically buy these a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had one that I bought for North Carolina. I bought it for $145. I had to survey out the easement. Once I surveyed out the easement, picked it up, we listed it for $420, ended up selling it for $360. So it was like a $220K profit, right?
Was that the Mills one that you did?
Mills. That was
You remember the Mills one? I meant to ask you about that one too. I think I can get you the address. I think I have it here.
It was in North Carolina. Damn, what the hell is the address to that one?
Oh, not Mills. I'm
Here.
sorry, Mariah.
Mariah Road. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, look at you. Fan club over here.
I know everything, man.
I love it. All right, so I like Swanee. So let's do Swanee. That seems pretty good to me. So let's do this. Let's go to Redfin. Swanee. Hold on. Swanee County, Florida.
Now, what I didn't pick the zip code for this one, and the reason why I didn't pick the zip code, it looked like the whole county was just easy to price from what I was looking at. Plus, everything was moving.
Yeah, no, it's fine. If the county is pretty much homogenous, you don't really have to do zip codes. It is better, but you don't have to. One quick check, you could check like the 4 to 5s because that's such a small band, and just look at the properties, like see what's sold. Right? We got. If you look, most of the sales are like 70, 68, 60, 50, 43, 70, 40s. Like they're all kind of in that realm of like close enough that it would make sense. You got a couple 160s and some outliers, but for the most part, almost everything. Oh, actually, that actually even see the reason why these are selling for more. Boom, mobile home. So you're probably okay in this market to kind of just broadband it. Sold. All right. So what acreage sizes do you want to go to?
I want to do. Let's stick to the script, man. 5 to 40.
Okay. So
5 to 50.
Yeah, it's a good thing too when you look at this and you see properties selling for 70, 80K. If you're buying them for 50% of market, what does that leave you? That leaves you with like 35K to play in between. So that's like a 20K net profit deal, right?
Yep.
So
And
if that's what your minimum profit is, then you shouldn't be looking for properties that are selling for less than 70K. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is a good market for that to say like, yeah, I could go here because of this. If this is like 30 or 40K, I'd say, okay, go up to 10 acres and above. And just focus on that.
Gotcha. So that's another way how you can pick which acre range you want to go on. You can base it off the profits.
Based on pricing. Exactly. So since there's enough data here, let's do this. I usually go to 4 acres, even though I'm only, I might only pull 5s. Let's look at 1 year. There's 152, and then look at 6 months. There's 84. So the 6 months is going to probably be your best. Let's just look at a quick band. Let's look at 4 to 20s.
So with that, is there a certain number you'd like to see?
You want to have at least I like 5 comps per acreage band. That's like your ideal number. 5 solid comps that I'm going to keep. So like right here, I have like 60 in the 4 to 10s in the last 6 months. So that's really good. So that tells me like I could get really accurate pricing just in this 4 to 10 acre range. No problem. You know what I'm saying? Because I have enough. And that's only going back 6 months. If I wanted to go a year, I got 100. So like a bigger sample size is going to help you get like a more even thing. But if you want most recent data, then yeah, I would definitely look at like just pulling the last 6 months, something like that. We'll pull everything 4 acres and above right now. All right, so we'll go here, we'll allow, boom, done. Let's see, let's go drive. That's the wrong drive. There we go.
Yeah, I have to set my system up like this. I've been trying to copy it, having one screen up top and having my other one to try to emulate it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you just got to kind of set it up as you feel fit. People ask me all the time, they're like, "Oh, can you show me exactly how you set your thing up?" I'm like, "Not really, because my business is different than your business."
Yeah.
It's like I could show you kind of how I have it, but it's not going to help you really. Swanee. Okay. All right, so we're going to do here, we're just going to take this, we go file. import, upload, browse, Redfin, done. Place current sheet, import data. Okay, so I'm gonna just take out, usually just delete a bunch of stuff. So I delete this first row because I started adding that. I'm gonna take out past sale type, property type. Actually, I'm not gonna take out property type. Hang on one second. Delete column. Let's go view. So what you do here, so you know what, I'm gonna show you this too because I like doing this way. This is basically, you're gonna create an SOP real quick. Ready? Go here. Oh, go back. Microphone on. And start recording. Okay, so I'm going to record this. This is how I would make an SOP for Loom. So basically come here. All right, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this. You're going to go view, freeze, one row. And then you're going to create filter. Create filter. That allows you to sort everything. Then we'll go sort Z to A or A to Z, whatever. So anything that's mobile home, manufacturer, home, just delete automatically. Don't even look at them. Just delete those selected rows. Anything with the bed and bath. Let's see. Nope. None of those. They're gone. And then let's look at URL. Let's look at MLS source. So source, see how these are like DG MLS, RMLS, all that stuff. Boom, get rid of all this. Anything that's not on an MLS, just get rid of.
So just delete it.
Yep, delete it. We don't like, you could use that, leave that in your data set. The problem is sometimes it's duplicates. Sometimes it's just like whatever submitted data, like it's not really going to help you. So I usually just delete it and just focus on what the MLS is because that's what everybody's going to see.
Gotcha.
And I just kind of delete all the other stuff that I don't really need. If you want to leave the lat long, you can.
Yeah, because like, sometimes the APN doesn't.
Exactly.
Oh, you can use that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen that too. All right. So then I delete location, square feet. Okay. J4K. And then property type. I'll delete property type too. Okay. Just want to skinny this up. I change beds to acres. And then I take bats and do PPA. And I add one. I just move over I to there, and then I add a line right here. Info, insert columns at the right. Oops, the wrong way. Okay, and this was okay. So then we go acres. You got to convert this. So equal
43,560.
43,560, baby.
That's the magic number.
Yep.
I've never seen that so much in my life, man.
Yeah. I know, it's so funny. Like you don't even think you're gonna use it. Now we use it every day. All right. And then price per acre. So we do this divided by this. We get that. Oh, I want to do that. Okay. So make sure that's dragged all the way down. So let's format. Actually, we got to format this and this. We format these to a number. We go into currency. Okay, cool.
Now, isn't there a way I can make me a sheet that it automatically does all this? Because this stuff gives me anxiety, man. I'm not going to lie.
I actually have that already. When you upload this, it just has, and it could literally be as basic as this. You just create a second sheet, create a template. And when you import your data, you just take this and you hit like this line and you move it equals, you know, this. This equals like this row or whatever it is. Like basically that's it. Like you just, I'm trying to figure it out now. So you like equal this to this and it would just drag over everything. Right.
Gotcha.
So like, you know, like there's all the stuff right there.
Gotcha.
And then once you have that sheet once you do it once, you're done. You don't have to do it again. All right, so we have that. So now we have our pricing, what our PPAs are and all that stuff. So what I like to do is I take these, like I have a different sheet that I also use. What I'll do is I'll figure out like what the, I'll put the medians. We can do medians right here. So like right here, what I'll do is this will separate everything. So you could also do filter by values. You could say, I want to take out blanks and, take out everything.
When you say blanks, what do you mean? Like,
it's just like if it doesn't have a thing in there. So I can just filter by, this right here. So I only want to look at the fives, whatever. So I could just select anything that's a 5. So if I wanted to just to filter like that, you could do that too. All right, but let's just do this. So I have enough data in this 4 to 5 acre range to kind of separate that into its own. The smaller like blocks you do, the better you're going to be. So like 4 acres, 5 acres, things like that.
Okay.
Median of this to that. All right, so median's 14,000 here. Then we'll go to 6s. So I don't have a big data set for 6, so I'll go median. And I'm gonna pull a couple from the like 5s. Like 5s. I'm gonna go 5.2. And then go all the way up to 8.5. And we'll go
now for every data pool, you're just eyeballing it to do it like this. It's not no set rule for this, correct?
No set rule. You could say like 5 to 10, whatever it is, if you wanted, but it kind of just looks. I just kind of look at it and then I just sort through it. It's going to make more sense once you kind of do it a bunch of times. So we went 13 to 19, then we're going to do equals median, 20, usually 20 to 30, and then 30 to that. All right, I could already tell I'm going to probably delete that one.
It seems like it with that one, that 19.
Yeah, I could already tell I'm going to delete it, so I'm just going to move down a row, not select it, and just go here. I'll go like 40s to like up to 60, just below 60. And then I'll go like 60s, 80s. These you kind of gotta, I mean, like these aren't actually going to be really. Yeah. So, okay. So now that we have like this pretty big data set, like I could look at this. I'll delete this row. See how that went down already. So let's delete that. So I'm just going to look at some of these high outliers. So the nice thing is if I like sort this and I just take out, like only look at the 4 to 5s, what that does here, you could actually go like this. I'll take this out by one number and then I'll go here and I'll go filter by values. I'll clear and then I'll just go 4s and 5s. Okay. And that's only going to show me my 4s and 5s right now. And then I'll short this Z to A. And what does that do? Boom. Here's all my high outliers. So here I'll just take out, we have 50. So I'll take out 5. Let's take out the top 10%. And then let's take out the bottom 10%. Now we're at 10K. So we basically just eliminated all the ones that are highs and lows and kind of puts us now here. Now, that just makes it simpler for us to look at. So this one, we already got some improvements. You got water, you got electric, you got all this stuff.
Now, do you suggest that I do that on all when I pull the comps to take out the high 5, the 10% from the top, 10% from the bottom?
I have so much data that I could do that here. Like I'm still left over with 43 records. If I only had like 10 records, I probably wouldn't do that.
Gotcha.
But I have so much data that I'm like, okay to do that, So this one here, I'm actually surprised this sold as a high outlier considering this, but let's see what we got. Looks like we got some improvements on it. It's got a cabin. Yeah, you already got some improvements. So, and this one's got improvements too. So already this one and this one.
So you take those up.
And you kind of have to go through these. It sucks, but you do have to look at this stuff.
So I'm learning to pull out anything off the MLS, anything black, look for improvements. If it's not rural rec, if it's not apples to apples, pull it out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. If you see anything like you don't want to price a whole market based on a property that's been improved.
Gotcha.
right? I don't really see anything. Blah blah blah. Has been dirt pad in the back for house neighborhood. City Lake, an hour from the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, I don't really see anything that's crazy. So you might want to I would leave this open. Maybe take a look at this and look at the location. So leave this open, zoom out, keep an eye on that location. And then if I pull another comp up, I could say, okay, there's a pocket of stuff that trades higher in that pocket. Beautiful 5-acre no climb horse mounts. Okay, so it's got a fence around it. So that's over by Lake City and Live Oak. This one is by Live Oak. So you see this already? They're both pretty much in the exact same area. So that tells me that right in this pocket, there might be some stuff that sells for more. So you might even want to come in here and pull this market separately and price this a little bit different. Because that's 2 so far in that same general vicinity. System's got improvements, so I'm going to take that out. I'm not even going to look any further at that one. This band is going to take you the most time because there's a lot of data here. But not for nothing, if you're just doing this yourself, you could price, pull, and prep a market in less than an hour. And that'll be 1,000 records, if not 1,000 to 3,000 records in less than an hour. So it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's gotta learn how to do it.
You could teach people to do this in a matter of minutes. Like this loom that we're recording right now, this is enough training to send to somebody and say, this is what you're doing. Go do it. Show me a thing and let me know. So this one, I don't see anything abnormal. Let's check the location again. Yet again, boom, same exact spot. You see that? So I got 3 in that same exact area. So that tells me that area sells for more for some reason. There's more demand. I guess it's because between 2 major cities. Well, major as in that area is major. Boom, 3. Look at that. 4. That's another one. So all these high outliers are all from one spot on the map. Yep, all of them. So you do not here's the thing, you would screw up your whole data set, right? Because if you took this and priced all these, every single high outlier is in one spot, yet again. So all these guys are in the one spot. So I would actually try to figure out on your map, when I'm looking at this, let me see, that was over here. On this map right here, I'd almost say, okay, where was it? Right here, this area right here, we're pulling. So you almost want to just go and just draw and say, all right, anything in this area, we pull that data separately, boom, price that whole data set separately. And then when you go to pull your data from Land Insights, you also pull that separately because all the high outliers are right here. And then you price the rest of the market with the rest of the data set. So all right here, we're still going. Let's check this one out too. That could be even just going into the zip code and just pricing it by the zip code instead of pulling it like that. All right, so this is south of that, but it's still high outlier. This is where you kind of go through and you start figuring out where exactly that point where it starts getting less and less goes to. So we're still in that area where it still is more. Let's just skip down the map. Let's see where these 11,000 an acre are selling. See how it's left of Live Oak now? And now the price dropped off, right? So if I price this thing based on the high outliers, which were 19,000, 17,000 an acre, right? What's going to happen is these properties are going to get 10,000 an acre, which is market price. You're going to screw yourself because now all these people that are all this data that's from this area, they're going to call you and be like, yeah, I'll take $100,000 or $70,000 for my property. Meanwhile, you're like, dude, it's only worth 50, So you have to separate out the two and say, okay, I know this I know this area sells for more. So I got to go price this market and then come over here and price this separately. Because what's going to happen is if you just use the median and didn't look at all this stuff, you just underpriced all this and overpriced the rest of the market. And guess who's going to call? All the people you overpriced. Guess who's not going to call? All the people that you underpriced, right? You're just going to get a flood of people you can't buy the property from and not get any of the good properties that people actually want. So that's why it's super important to take the time and look at these data sets and like really go through them. And I know it sucks, but it's important. So this is an outlier. Take that out. It's a house.
So when I'm pulling the data or when I'm pricing it, how like I understand what you're saying, but how do you do it as far as like the move it over and take another and price it out again? Like that's the part that I get lost on.
All right. So it's not as hard as everybody thinks, right? All you're going to do. Okay. So let's say just this is the map I drew, right? So let's actually just go back. So Suwannee, Florida County. Okay. So we're seeing a lot of these. Let's go back here. Let's just look at the last 6 months. Land. This was just this is only one acreage bands, the 4 to 5s too. It's not even in anything else. So you could already see you got 95, 80, 95, 77, 130, all that stuff. You could see where the market kind of dips, starts kind of coming down in some areas, 44, 59, 40, all that, 25. Let's add more data. Maybe it might give us a better idea. Let's look at 2 years. More data is usually better. So you got 53. So that's 10K an acre. 10K, 65. That's probably that. I mean, that's 20K an acre. I'm sorry, 20K an acre. It's 20K an acre. Over here, it starts going down. So what I would say is this: I come here, so I kind of look at this and I'm like, all right, here's this line coming down here, right 490, and I'd probably stop right around this area and pull up. So I'm going to draw. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go, okay, come down here, come over across here, come up 90, come back. Boom. That's the data I'm going to pull for that one specific area. Now I go to Land Insights, and I could just take a screenshot of this. Keep that open. Go to Land Insights, and then match that screenshot. I went above the highway, followed the highway, came down between Wellborn and 90, cut across by Mackaplain, and came up 129.
And
pull that data from Land Insights and pull the comps from Redfin, stack the two together, you're good to go.
Gotcha.
So it's almost like you're separating one market into two.
Gotcha.
You're doing the same exact steps. You're just separating the two.
Gotcha.
We're taking a long time on this because I'm really trying to dig into this and show you how important this stuff is.
Yeah.
But after that, I mean, it's pretty easy after that for comps purposes. So this is somebody, I would just take this out. It's for comps purposes only. They basically sold the property and they just listed it as they recorded it on the MLS just for comps alone. But it's a shitty property, to be honest with you.
So anything with that on it, always take those out, or is there
if you don't have any other data, then yeah, I'd leave it in. But if you have a lot of data, take it out. So 10, okay. Let's see what this is. See, it's outside of that area. It seems like once you go left of 129, the market goes down. It's all
it's in the middle of the Live Oak and the Lake City.
Yep, exactly. And we're not even pricing Lake City. We're only pricing up to right here, 90. Because right there, that's a whole different county. So we're only coming right here. Pretty much this little pocket right here. For some reason, that sells for more. You have to pull that separately.
So how do you remember? So when you pull, I understand the screenshot that you took, and then you use that to pull the data. How do you remember what you pulled and what you didn't pull off the? Do you take it off your list? Do you mark it off? Do you delete?
I would re-pull this data, like the Redfin data. I'll re-pull this again.
Okay.
Yeah, I would re-pull this again and then restack it, and I would call this Suwannee County, Suwannee County Zone 1, Suwannee County Zone 2. So we have a more complex system of this where we use zip groups and things like that. We start looking at this and saying what zip codes are most of these higher end properties selling in. And we could look at that and you could see these. So I'd say it's pretty much this, probably right to here. 19 to 20, 19 to 2. So 32062, 32094, 062, 071. Then I'll look at this and I'm like, okay, are these same? Yeah, 062, 06, 062. Yeah, 062. So you can't even go by zip in this one because some zips are, big where it's like this half of the zip is good, the other half is bad. So you got to kind of separate it out based upon just location with that little thing. So I would come back in here, I'd pull the data just for that market right here, separate that, price that as 1. Then go back, pull the whole county, except that little pocket. So you almost have to like show the county again, take that overlay, draw that out again, and then select the whole county on a like overlay. So you go Swanee.
Yeah, I see what my first hire is going to be.
Yeah, bro. So you kind of go down like this, you come down, you come up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you pull that, and then you would draw, like you could drag out all the comps that are in there as well and like cut those out. So you could pull all those, or you could just pull this whole thing. You could just like go here, I'll pull the whole county. Suwannee County. Suwannee. Come on, baby. Suwannee County for it. So I could pull this whole county, but then like I also pulled the little pocket as well. Stack the 2 data sets. Anything that's a duplicate, just delete it. You know what I mean? So like I would take this data, I would take the pocket data, I would stack them together, and then I would go, all right, like show duplicates, and I would show all the duplicates that are on here between the 2, and then delete all the duplicates out, both sets, both sides of it, and then that will remove all the stuff that's in that little pocket, and then you're good to go. So before I like get into anything else, what questions you have about that? Because now that we understand like kind of what we're looking for when we do that, like actually here, let me just delete this. Let's look at something real quick. I'm going to delete a bunch of these out because they're in that pocket that I was talking about. And let's see what the median goes down to. So we're still at like 10. What do you want here? Let's go. It's 11 now. So see how much better that went? Because now it's taking a different sample size. So it went up a little bit because it was taking some of the lows and some of the highs. Now it reset it. Now you're good. So you'll probably price the pocket out with a market value of like 17K an acre versus this pocket. The rest of the stuff would be like 11K an acre.
Yeah, and all that stuff makes a difference.
It does.
I seen that when I mailed.
Yep. So you can see like 11K, and then this goes to 8,700. So like I might even look at these and why are these so low? Kind of shitty property. Actually, does it even have access?
The landlocked.
Looks landlocked, right? Yeah, I would say that's a bye-bye. Yeah, see how it's coming up? That's better. Okay. So that's still 5K, but it's going to come out. It's getting removed basically because I'm using the median. So 5K, it's taking out the 5 and it's taking out the 11, giving you 9,800. See how it cascades down? 11, 9, 11,
Yep.
9.
So this is 8. So when I'm watching this, right, this is what I wanted to always ask you too. So if you look at, you see where you're at the 9s or anything, it's supposed to be 10, 10. So if it's not around 10 and we look at it like that 70, well, that's still close. You see, so everything should be around that 10 price in that area. The 19, I'm going to remove that.
That's the median, yeah. So it's the 19 is high, but look here. Well, it's because I took a I think I pulled from this. Like I could see this. Let's see what I pulled from. I pulled from 9 down, so I got a couple 19s. So here I could filter this and just go filter by. Let's filter clear. Let's just look at not 10. All right, so let's just look at these. So I could take out. You could sort A to Z. So these are 7,500. I could already tell these are probably dupes. Probably no, actually they're not. But yeah, you got 1919. Let's see what these were. Why is this selling for 19? Boom. It's got improvements, it's got electric, it's got all kinds of jazz. So that'll go.
Do you see that lot 1, lot 2, lot 3?
Yeah.
Do you remove those or you keep those? See the December 11th?
Lot 1,
Yep.
lot 3 right here.
Yep.
Let's take a look at them. Let's see what they are. Maybe not. It just looks like somebody bought a bigger chunk, chopped it up. That's all.
Okay.
So I'd probably leave it because it's going to give you, you're hopefully going to be doing the same thing, right? Buying a property and chopping it up. So 43. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to remove the 19s. I didn't look at this one. Let's look at this one. I did look at that one. I don't know why. I guess that was a Duke too. All right, delete row. So now we're back at 14s. All right. So turn back on, select all. Okay. All right. So now that dropped. See? That dropped to 9100. So 98. So actually, it's pretty close. Let's see what this one is doing. Oh, you know what it's doing? Actually, hold on. Because remember, I deleted rows, but I didn't change this. So let's go from here. 99.7, 98. Okay. Looks like it might have some improvements. People plenty of room gardening. Okay. I'm going to take this one out. Let me just adjust this to I-45. Okay, 99.7. So that's pretty tight now. So I wouldn't change that. Got 91. Look at these low outliers. Super low.
That looks like there's no access to that, looks like.
Yeah, maybe. But it is cascading. So if I take out my lows there, it'll throw my pricing off. That's got a house on it. Okay, so actually I could take that out. That's got some improvements. I'll leave that. Let me just take out this 4,000. That should settle our pricing pretty good. 9,100, so 99, 91. I'd probably want to feather this down to like maybe 8,500, just so it's a good cascade down to this next point. So that's got all those improvements. Even though it's an easement property, it's got a bunch of improvements on it. So I'll take that out.
When you say easement property, you mean it has to go through another lot to get to. That's what you mean, the easement. Okay.
Easement property or flagpole property, whatever you want to call it. Depends. It might not be an easement. Actually, it might have been subdivided out like that. So, all right. So we have a good cascade. You have 98, 11, 11. So this is the only one that's a little awkward. So I'd probably want to drop this one. So let's see. Yeah, I probably want to make this like just meet in the middle here. Pull like 8,500 in this area because I want it to cascade nicely. So 99. I'd probably even drop this down a little bit further to like 94. And then you're going to offer half of that, right? Yeah. So it's really, at the end of the day, it's not going to make a huge difference. But that's a pretty good, like decent cascade. I mean, some of these are probably pretty close. That's okay. So now that's it. Your pricing on this. I mean, I didn't go through and do the 2 pockets and all that stuff, but like your pricing on this is done. Priced. That's it. Now you just pull your data and then stack your data on here and then just stack the pricing. Say, boom, here's the thing. Here's your price per acre. Throw it in and then just feather some of the data.
Now, if I want to double check myself, what do I normally do? Just pull like this pull a comp in the area and price it and comp it to see if I'm a little on the money, if I'm accurate.
Exactly what you do. Yeah. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to pull 3 or 4 from each acreage band and check my pricing. That's it.
Gotcha.
Comp it, like pretend it's a lead that came in, right? Lead that comes in, boom, comes in. Whatever property it is, you're like, okay, cool. Let me comp it real quick. throw it into here, like let's just say this one. Right there. Come on, baby. Find me. Oh, why it's not finding me? It's okay. But because I don't have any data, I'm just trying to pull it from that. But let's just do this. This might have APN on here. Location, highway, public facts. So pretend this is like a lead that came in and you just want to check it. Just pop it into here. All right, so here we go. A guy comp value is 42K. Let's see what this actually sold for. This property actually sold for like 45K. 42K. So pretty damn on the money there. So that's good. So like if you priced it at 42K market value, whatever, 45K market value, you were good. And that's all you do. I would do that in a couple of them and then check my pricing. If I see it's like a little off, all right, good. Up it, lower it, whatever the case may be. Don't spend too much time. Just get it close enough and you send it. Gotcha. So it's not inherently hard. It's just like once you get through this here, we'll stop this. Let me show you what the loom looks like. All right, so loom is here. And then I would just go.
You showing it on your screen?
Oh, yeah. Here, let me show my screen. Sorry. Got that. So I just stopped the loom. I was still doing that. So here I go. I could just go transcripts. I could go whatever I want. I could do create document because I have a loom with AI. Here's the SOP. It's going to read all the transcripts, create a full SOP for you. Oh, it's actually gotten better because it didn't.
Yeah, they got the pictures now.
Now it's got pictures, it's got everything. All right, so that's even better.
Yeah.
Boom. Now I can create my SOP super easy. All right, do this. Here, create columns, create this. That's it. And then I can just go step by step. All right, step 1, do this. 30-minute looms aren't the best. Little 2-minute looms, create an SOP is what you really want to do.
Okay.
And then I do this. I stack it in a spreadsheet, and I go pricing data as like a folder. All right, pricing data, boom. And then I would go in there and say pricing data. Okay, step 1, pull data. I would do a quick loom, show how to pull the data. Step 2, find any comps in this area. Okay, boom, do that. Step 3, and then just like do a little loom for each one. Create that loom once, and then you just send that to somebody. All right, here, VA. This is how we're doing this. Go at it. Go nuts. Go price the market. Bring it back to me when you're done. We'll check it out. Anything wrong, we'll fix it. That's it. So this one, I mean, they're pretty good. But yeah, I'll do that all the time with my with everything, and then I have a whole little library of looms for that.
So basically, I'm just making little 3 to 5 minute videos on every step and putting them in my Google folder, and then just letting the team drill away at it.
Exactly. Here, let me look up. Give me a second. I'll show you. Okay. So this was what we did is we basically took. This is how we were doing it for a while. This is an old one, but SOP looms. So I would basically go, okay, how do you do something? How do you make a template of comps? Just here's a quick loom. Click that. And there's how to do it real quick. That's it. Super easy. And I just do that for pretty much everything. These are actually old ones. I have old other ones, different granular pricing. I got upload stuff to Rocket Print, all that stuff. So like you could just go ahead and create 1,000 of these looms and then just save them. Now, instead of that, I have everything in a library on my loom library, and it's all through there. So all right, I got to cut this short now because I got to go to my next meeting.
Okay.
But
Cool.
we could do another Zoom and like actually pull and price a market. Or if you want to go ahead and try it, then we could go back and like check it out together.
Okay.
You want to do?
Yeah.
Well, like this should be pretty helpful, right?
Yeah. Very helpful. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, try it out, see how it works, and then from there, then we expand on it and try to do something different and see how we get everything worked out.
Cool. Appreciate
it. Me and you could get into more deep dive stuff. I don't want to do that on here, but we could go on deep dive stuff together.
Perfect.
All right, bro. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. This is good. Appreciate it, bro. I'll see you soon.
All right.
All right, later.